Good morning, everyone. I am your host, Olivia Cohen, coming in live from the Dörfner Judaica Museum here at the Hebrew Home, and this is Good Morning Hebrew Home. Today is Thursday, February 4th, and the time is 10:32 a.m. A little late today. February is Black History Month. Black History Month is an annual observance for the remembrance of significant people and events in African American history. It is celebrated in February in the United States and Canada. And this information comes from Youth for Human Rights International. And they celebrate Black History Month in honor of all those whose courage and determination helped secure the civil rights millions enjoy today. So a little later in the show, I will have a story from this website. And for this month, I will end off each Thursday honoring a prominent figure in Black history for a positive news story. So stay tuned for that in a little bit. We have a great show planned for you today, but first let's get into the weather. Let's take a look at the weather in our neck of the woods for today. Today it'll be sunny, high around 40 degrees. So hopefully that'll melt some of the snow. I think one of the worst parts about the snow, at least in New York, is that it's just these dirty frozen mounds that are everywhere and you can't park your cars and then it looks ugly and it's always really pretty the first day it snows when it's like untouched. So we're in that stage here in New York where it's just a lot of dirty mounds of snow everywhere and hopefully they melt soon. Let's move to this day in history, February 4th. I have a bunch for today, actually. 1922, Lincoln purchased the Ford company for $8 million on this day. During the time of this transition, Henry Ford had assumed position of President of Lincoln. Moving forward to 1932, the first Winter Olympics to be held in the United States. These games took place in Lake Placid, New York. Now in 1938, the animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released and had major success in the box office, making more money than any other motion picture up till that point. That is like one of the oldest Disney movies and like Disney princesses. I love Snow White. People say I'm Snow White sometimes because of my dark hair, and also animals are always around me. So, and I like to sing. So maybe, she had an impact on me. I will say that. In 1959, today was the first day of the invention of the Barbie doll. This doll was created by Ruth Handler, who was one of the founders of the Mattel Company. Barbie was named after Ruth's daughter. And later on, when the Ken doll was made, it was named after Ruth's son. So, did you guys play with Barbies? Yeah. My mom saved her Barbie stuff and passed it down to me. And I don't know if you guys watching remember Midge the doll, but I had a Midge doll. It was super, super cool. She had like, her hair was like these like vintage like rolls, like very, very cute. And it had the clothing too. So my mom saved that all the way from when she was like a little girl to give to her little girl, and I destroyed it. Really, 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 they were loved and played with, so that was good. Moving forward to 2004, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court declared that same-sex marriage is legal. And then in 2013, the government, this one was funny, the government of France has overturned a 200-year law that banned women from wearing trousers. The law had effectively been out of use for several years as people just ignored the law. However, the change would make it formally legal for women to wear trousers. So that's what's happening pants-wise across the world. 2013. In 2013, yeah. People just didn't listen. Our national days for today, it's Homemade Soup Day. Do you guys have a favorite soup?
Definitely vegetable.
Just like a vegetable. I do like that kind of soup. Allison?
I like beef barley.
Ooh, beef barley. I like a beef barley. I like tomato soup is like my favorite soup with rice. Okay.
And grilled cheese.
Yeah, on the side. Always. It's also Thank a Mail Carrier Day. They've been working so hard at this time. I think it's like such a big form of communication right now. Also, I know here sending packages is so important to kind of keep that lifeline to the residents, families sending things since you can't be here in person in a lot of places. So you're sending packages and mail. But they're essential workers that are working super, super hard, so we should definitely thank a mail carrier. It's also National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and it's National Optimist Day. So a day to be half glass, half full, right? Our resident birthdays for today are Elvin G. and Olga P. Happy birthday. And our famous birthday for today, super fitting for Black History Month, Rosa Parks was born in 1913 on this day in Tuskegee, Alabama. She was an American activist in the civil rights movement, best known for her pivotal role in the Montgomery bus boycott. The United States Congress has called her the First Lady of Civil Rights and the Mother of the Freedom Movement. So happy birthday to all. Let's move into the menus for today. For lunch, we have barbecue chicken, sweet potato and Italian green beans. For dessert, pears. And dinner, for tonight, we have Italian vegetable soup. There you go, Kat. Vegetable cheese lasagna, garlic bread, and for dessert, vanilla ice cream. Can't go wrong with just some vanilla ice cream. So let's move into our positive news story for today. I set up a picture of who we're talking about today, Maya Angelou. So we're going to take a quick gander over there. Maya Angelou is such an inspiration. Her career encompassed a multitude of titles from author, playwright, and poet to stage and screen performer, director, and human rights activist. She is best known for her autobiographies as a genre known as autobiographical fiction, in which she includes aspects of her personal life in fiction works. Her writings are widely used in schools and universities around the world. Angelou is an icon of Black culture and her work viewed as a mainstay of African American culture and is often cited for its role in the forward progress of equal rights. Angelou was born on April 4th, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. She received a scholarship to San Francisco's Labor School to study dance and drama in 1954, and she won a role in the opera Porgy and Bess, which toured in some 20 countries. She worked closely with Martha Graham, the mother of modern dance, and Alvin Ailey as an innovative African-American choreographer and activist whose masterpiece Revelations is considered the most well-known and most performed dance performance. Her resume broadened further still in 1957 with her first recorded album, Calypso Lady. In 1958, Angelou moved to New York, where she became an influential member of the Harlem Writers Guild, the oldest organization of African-American writers, activists, and scholars, and performed in the landmark off-Broadway production of The Blacks by French playwright Jean Genet. She then moved to Cairo, Egypt, as editor of the Arab Observer. She lived in Ghana during the decolonization period, teaching at the University of Ghana's School of Music and Drama, while concurrently working as an editor for the African Review and writing for the Ghanaian Times. During this time abroad, she studied and read intensively, becoming fluent in Spanish, Italian, French, Arabic, and Fanti. It was also here that she was introduced to Malcolm X. She returned to America in 1964 and helped him build his new organization of African American Unity until he was assassinated in 1965. Angelou next worked with Martin Luther King Jr. in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an African American civil rights organization centered on King's ideologies, which played a large role in the civil rights movement. King's assassination on her birthday in 1968 greatly affected Angelou. She says, "King continues to have an impact on my life as he does upon the lives of many people in the world. A dream, an idea never dies. It might go in or out of fashion, but it remains. So his idea of fair play and justice still impacts upon me. He was a friend of mine. I worked with him. I am trying to be that fair, that kind, that generous, courageous person, that loving person that Martin Luther King Jr. was and encouraged us to become." Angelou was encouraged by friend and writer James Baldwin to write what became her best-known work, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, published in 1969, and making Angelou known internationally. Her published fiction, nonfiction, and poetry include over 30 best-selling works. She went on to write the script and compose the score for the film Georgia, the first African-American woman to write a script that was filmed. Georgia was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. The list of her accomplishments is extensive and includes television and films, acting parts in Alex Haley's Roots in 1977 and John Singleton's Poetic Justice in 1993. She directed Down in the Delta in 1996, her first feature film, and in 2008 composed poetry and narrated the acclaimed documentary The Black Candle. Angelou was awarded the Presidential Medal of Arts in 2000 and the Lincoln Medal in 2008. She has received 3 Grammy Awards and some 50 honorary degrees. In 1993, she read her poem On the Pulse of the Morning at President Bill Clinton's inauguration, at his request. This was broadcast internationally and made her the first poet to present a poem at a presidential inauguration since 1961, when Robert Frost recited his work at John F. Kennedy's inauguration. She says, one of her very well-known quotes, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." From her outstanding achievements in the arts and considerable contribution to the advancement of African Americans, Maya Angelou has touched those that have come to know her and the inspiring spirit that pervades her creative works. So that is our prominent figure in Black history today. As always, please feel free to give us a call. Any good news you've heard and would like to share on the show, you can do so by dialing 2813. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment, hit that like button, or hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember to tune into Channel 8 later today. We have Wellness with Deborah at 1:30, On a Musical Note with Peter at 2:30. On our stream channel, Channel 88, we have 4 o'clock, Dorot Presents Music Appreciation. At 6:30, we have this episode of Good Morning Hebrew Home. That's a replay. And tonight's movie at 7 on Channel 88 will be Harriet. So Harriet is the extraordinary tale of Harriet Tubman's escape from slavery and transformation into one of America's greatest heroes, whose courage, ingenuity, and tenacity freed hundreds of slaves and changed the course of history. Thank you for joining us today. Once again, this has been Olivia Cohen with Good Morning Hebrew Home. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel. Cohen out.